Yeah. I mean, they did bring in like, I'm thinking about like over the seas franchises. They did have like Danny Beard, who did have a beard. They did have
Hmm.
Victoria Scone, a
Hmm.
biological woman. And I live for them. I mean, and Victoria Scone actually did a runway as Fabio in drag,
Hmm.
like a drag king runway, and everybody got their life. Like it was so
Hmm.
iconic. And
Yes.
why shouldn't they be able to do any kind of gender bending? Like gender is over. So,
Yeah.
just let them perform. Let artists be artists and see how they interpret things.
Uh-huh.
I would agree with that. What about, do you have any advice, Shay, since you have won and came in third, and now I'm standing corrected, and fourth? Like what advice would you give to all the baby queens out there that, want to come on Drag Race and go really far?
Um, I would say my best advice would be to trust yourself. Like you really have to tune into that like inner voice that really tells you like, you're just intuition. You have to really lean into that, know yourself, trust yourself, and have fun. And I feel like that's just like a recipe for success because I feel like what people tune in for and look forward to is seeing people come and open themselves up and display their truth and have fun with the art of drag.
Mhm.
That's good advice. Well, a whole nother part of your podcast, It's Giving Fashion, is pop culture. You guys delve into pop culture and you stay current. Like, any pop culture stories keeping you up at night these days? And what are they?
Ooh.
Like, are you invested in like the Megan Fox, deletes MGK from her Instagram, and then, now
Okay, right? Because like we saw them at the okay, let's just talk about that.
okay,
Because
let's.
I'm like, we saw them at the Grammys, and I know that like, he was doing a red carpet interview with Laverne Cox, right? And
Hmm.
like he seemed like a little nervous, but she was like off camera being like really supportive to him. And I guess like now it kind of makes sense a little bit. But I at the time I interpreted it as like she really just wanted for him to like have his moment. And it was just I wonder if Laverne Cox still has that interview up on her Instagram.
Yeah, because I didn't watch. I'm gonna have to watch this now.
Oh my God, because Laverne then went back and posted and she was like, this was like a really interesting, like vulnerable conversation. And she felt from like what she experienced interviewing him was that, Megan Fox was being like really sweet and supportive, like on the sidelines, but it just felt like she then went and deleted him off Instagram. So was she just like trying to distance herself because like, things were already going south. I don't know. Like I immediately started speculating when I saw them because I was just all like, oh, they seemed so, I don't know, like tame and cute. Like they weren't licking the inside of each other's mouths, but I felt like they had
Yeah.
settled into this like, comfortable couple like rhythm. And there was something about it that seemed comfortable. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I live for the messiness. So like if we can get a front row seat to like your relationship imploding, by all means, I will take that in and be entertained.
Seriously,
You get
this
all the tea when you style him, Tiger.
Yes. Ooh.
seriously, once you get this styling job, just let us know. But I mean, I don't know. I was so for them as a couple. I was so for them. I was like, this
Yeah.
makes so much
Yeah.
sense to me. I
Yes,
Yeah.
mean,
yes.
if you're leaving Brian Austin Green, it better be for a good reason. It was for a good
Hmm.
reason. I'm not. What about, all the stuff going on with Britney now? Like everyone's saying she's in trouble. I mean, are we worried about Britney Spears?
Always. I'm always worried
Always.
about Britney and like her social media. Does she still have her comments turned off? Like, you know how the fandom will like be like, oh, she's wearing a red shirt. Like, oh my God, that means help. Or, has all these like, signals or whatever.
Mhm.
And I think the comments, at least the last time I checked her Instagram, they've been turned off. And
Mhm.
it is just bizarre. And I'm always worried about Britney. Like, she just is someone that is so easily taken advantage of, and like, you know, she hasn't been able to make her own decisions for how long. So like maybe she can't even make the right decisions for herself. And maybe she can't tell good people apart from people with bad intentions, you know? So yeah, I'm always worried about her.
I
Yeah.
know what has been done to Britney has just been ugh, terrible. And I
Yeah.
always am just like wanting the best and just like sending her out good vibes all the time that, you know, wherever she is and whatever is going on, that hopefully she's being surrounded by at least someone who is fully looking out for her and her best
Mm-hmm.
interests.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys, you know, through your line of work, like you've styled so many people, Tiger Lily, you know, there's so many
Mm-hmm.
drag race fans out there. Shay, like, do you guys get starstruck? Like, have you ever met someone where you've been starstruck? I mean, we have our good friend Bob the drag queen heading out with my queen, Madonna. Like, I mean,
Uh-huh.
you guys meet, you know, it's like, have you ever met someone where you're just like, wow? Or are you past that at this point in the business? And no shade either way. Cause I mean, you know,
Yeah, I definitely, the only time that I've really gotten starstruck was meeting Naomi Campbell. And I'm glad that it was documented on TV because like every other like celebrity that I've ever encountered or come across from, I've been able to be like, you know, fellow human being, fellow person, no reason to like, you know, get to beside myself. But she without a doubt just she's everything, and she's not human, she is a goddess. And
Mm-hmm.
it was my first time meeting a true goddess like that in person. So I was taken aback for sure.
Oh my God. I'm going to throw it back to like early drag race days. I think it was probably like season 4. And I had been telling Shay, like, you got to watch Drag Race. You got to get into it because I was obsessed with Raja. And she came to Chicago and she was in the same restaurant as us. I was with Shay. We were eating dinner and Raja comes in and I totally fangirled on her. And I like didn't have words. And like Raja came over, she like gave me like a kiss on the cheek, and I was like, you know, and I was like, I'll never watch this cheek again. And then and then Raja walks away and she's like, oh, I'm so hungry. And I literally was like, do you want some calamari? And I was like yelling at her to like come eat my calamari. And Shay was like, oh my God, no, sit down. Like, Tosh, come on. Like, so yeah, that was
It
like
was
high key
great.
embarrassing.
Yes, I think that was like my 25th birthday dinner
Yeah,
when
I
that
think
happened.
so.
Yeah, that was
But
a night.
and then when I met RuPaul at DragCon that one year, because we were like, I was looking hella busty and crusty. Like it was not a cute day for me. And then of course RuPaul comes around and Shay's like, Tosh, I want to introduce you to RuPaul. And I was like, oh, of course, right now, like just looking like hell. And yeah, she was like, don't